anytime we're looking at futures, remember, we're looking at stocks. There's no way around that. Let's take a look at the big three indices, Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, for their own structure and also the relative performing structures within them. All right, so here's the Dow. Is the Dow in an uptrend? Yes, green grab candles, green momentum, but it's actually shaky. So no, it's actually lost a trend. So if I'm going to look at Dow futures, I'm going to ask myself, well, am I better off trading Microsoft, Home Depot, Caterpillar, Visa, and Salesforce? Oh, and Amgen. See these 6 names? That's your relative outperforming corner of the Dow. So right now, if you're looking at YM futures, sure, you can look at the daily price movement range if we can trade down to the gray area, because in both a trend and a not trend, the daily price movement range is valid for sure, right? But Dow is probably going to be better off traded by its parts, not by the whole. All right, let's move on to SPY. Now, as I look at the ES futures, SPY, SPX, micro, it doesn't matter. Please don't think that the way that we trade the S&P futures is any different than the way we trade SPX. In fact, a lot of you finally told me, hey, Rag, all right, I love trading SPX, but I finally started looking at ES futures, and A, I'm getting more accurate triggers, and B, I'm getting more. Who doesn't want more and accurate? Okay, so S&P is by the dippable. It's a bullish momentum, bullish trend environment. Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, Meta, Berkshire, and JP Morgan. Those are your relative outperformers. What do you want to stay away from to the long side? For now, be cautious with Google. It's neutral. But be very cautious with United Health and Tesla. Tesla's been a great short, right? The money made on Tesla right now is to the short side. So take a look at the difference in structure. S&P can be bought, so could those stocks, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, Meta, Berkshire, and JP Morgan. Now, what's really interesting, if I look at Berkshire and JP Morgan, that really does shine a light on XLF, the financials. Financials have been in fuego. When I look at overall the best corner of the S&P, now please remember, if you're a futures trader of these indices, you are absolutely trading stocks and sectors. Look at everything to love within this corner. So if you love S&P, you love financials right now. Let's move on over to the NASDAQ. So I'm going to crack open the NASDAQ composition. This is the way the stocks are weighted within the NASDAQ, and this is why the NASDAQ does what it does. Apple still is a bit of a wobbly problem child. So is Google post-earnings. Adobe and Tesla, it's Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, Meta, and AVGO. Throw Costco in there, and that's the best corner of the NAS. But daily price movement range buys in NQ look great. All right, so let's take a look at that. Daily price movement range in the NQ futures. They're pretty flat right now, okay, which tells me that we're getting a compression in the NASDAQ. This is the way that, again, I would want to take advantage of a breakout. Buy the support of the daily price movement range. The best first target would be to scale out at the gold zone. So buying the gray, you can scale out of, say, half the position in the gold. Now, why do I want to be a buyer? Bullish momentum, bullish trend, right? Bullish momentum, bullish trend. So that's how I would want to buy the NQ. But if it's going to explode higher with momentum, a breakout, expansion, it's going to be through 17,008. If we can get movement up higher through 17,008, that's where we're likely to see the momentum really kick in as higher highs start to dominate the psychology. I'm not saying we're front running, but all I'm saying is let's buy support, and that way we can wait through all this, as opposed to buying at resistance and having to be in a state of unrealized loss as we sink back down into a fairly established zone, right? That's the way I would look at the NASDAQ. Two other symbols I'll throw in here for futures, bonds. Now, the cool thing is every symbol that I've looked at has an ETF alternative. So if you're not a futures trader, don't worry about it. You've got SPY, SPX, QQQ, DIA, XLF, and in bonds, you've got TLT. Do I want to be long bonds? I do, right? 60 minutes, Jerome Powell, FOMC members, we're having to align to the reality that we're not going to get a rate cut in March. But the Fed's delays are not the Fed's denials, okay? That means that if we can get long in the daily price movement range, now that we're starting to see, we got one session, 2 sessions under our belt, where the post FOMC week and now the post 60 minutes interview, everyone's got to at least be very disappointed about the fact that March is pretty much off the table. But that doesn't mean May is. In fact, Jerome was pretty clear. We're on a first name basis, yes, that we could see movement higher. Keep an eye on this gray zone for ZB long positions and or TLT. All right, so that's what I've got on my radar right now. Think about cracking open your indices. Look at what's inside them. Your futures, your index sector stock alignment is going to continue to outperform as long as we can find that alignment. We're in good shape for follow through. I'll see you all in the next update. Hey traders, Raghee from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment below. And remember, subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll get notified of the next update. And when you're ready to join me for live trading, be sure to head on over to simplertrading.com. I'll see you in the next update.